In the bustling command center of the United Nations Extraterrestrial Relations Bureau, UNERB, on Earth, the mood was electric. The year was 2245, and after decades of scanning the cosmos for signs of other intelligent life, humanity was finally on the cusp of joining the galactic community. Reports had flooded in from the outer colonies about a mysterious fleet of ships, sleek and gleaming under the harsh light of distant stars, entering the solar system. These vessels bore the emblems of the Zeltron Confederacy, a coalition known to Earth's astropolitical scholars as a powerful alliance of advanced civilizations. Dr. Lena Mercer, the head of UNERB, stood at the forefront of a massive digital display, her eyes tracking every movement of the alien fleet as it approached Mars. The Zeltrons had chosen not to communicate through conventional radio waves. Instead, they employed a sophisticated method of quantum entanglement, ensuring instant communication across the vastness of space. It was through this method that they had initially announced their peaceful intentions and their wish to establish formal relations with humanity. The first official meeting was set on Mars at New Ares City, a decision influenced by the planet's symbolic association with war and peace. The human delegation was a mix of diplomats, scientists, and military advisors, carefully chosen to represent Earth's diverse populace and its collective achievements. The Zeltrons, on the other hand, were an enigma, with only a little information available about their culture and society from intercepted broadcasts and long-range observations. As the Zeltron fleet entered a stable orbit around Mars, the tension in the UNERB command center rose palpably. Everyone there understood the historic nature of this meeting. It was not just a diplomatic formality, but a pivotal moment that would define the future course of human evolution and its place in the cosmos. However, the historic peace talks were abruptly overshadowed by an unforeseen incident. A Zeltron mining vessel en route to the asteroid belt collided with a human commercial freighter. The accident resulted in significant damage and casualties for the human crew, an event that was broadcast live across Earth and its colonies. The human public's reaction was swift and fierce, fueled by a mix of fear, anger, and lingering xenophobia. Protests erupted in several colonies with cries against potential alien domination. The Zeltrons were quick to offer reparations and condolences, but their efforts did little to calm the growing unrest. It became evident that the accident had deeply affected human perceptions of the Zeltrons, painting them as careless or even potentially hostile. In a move of caution or perhaps misunderstanding of human emotions, the Zeltron leadership issued a galactic advisory to all its member planets and allied races. Please, keep your distance from human colonies. This directive was broadcast galaxy-wide, marking Earth's colonies as quasi-quarantine zones within the vast network of civilized space. Isolated yet defiant, humanity found itself both physically and diplomatically marooned. The initial dreams of a united interstellar community seemed to be dissolving as quickly as they had appeared, leaving Earth to deal with the political fallout and a galaxy now watching its every move with wary eyes. Governor Jiao sat at the head of the conference table in Titan's command center, the largest human settlement on Saturn's moon. The room was tense, the air thick with concern and anticipation. Around her were her top advisors, military leaders, economists, scientists, and representatives from the other human colonies scattered throughout the solar system. They had all felt the impact of the Zeltron Confederacy's advisory, a diplomatic shun that effectively severed their burgeoning ties with the broader galactic community. Titan, once a bustling hub of trade and technological exchange, now faced an uncertain future. The advisory had not only isolated them from potential alien allies, but it also disrupted essential supply chains and technological collaborations. Advanced alien tech that had once promised to revolutionize energy production, medical care, and environmental management on the human colonies was now beyond reach, halting what could have been a renaissance of innovation and growth. "Let's focus on solutions," Anna began, breaking the heavy silence. "We need strategies that will not only sustain us through this isolation, but also restore our standing with the Zeltron Confederacy and the wider galaxy. We cannot let fear or pride dictate our path forward." Her military advisor, General Huang, was the first to speak. "We need to strengthen our defenses,
If we can show that we're capable of securing our colonies against any threat, be it from pirates, rogue entities, or even further misinterpreted accidents, it might encourage the Zeltrons to reconsider their stance.
Dr. Amelia Voss, the head scientist of the colony, shifted the discussion towards a more diplomatic approach. Perhaps we should consider sending a peace envoy, she suggested. Someone who could negotiate directly with the Zeltron leaders, explain our perspective, and demonstrate our commitment to peace and cooperation. Anna nodded thoughtfully. A peace envoy is a good idea, but we need more than just words to win them over. We need to show them something definitive, something that proves our worth and goodwill. That's when Thomas Reed, a special agent with a background in both diplomacy and covert operations, proposed a daring plan. What if we could uncover a mutual threat, something that endangers both human and Zeltron societies? Demonstrating our commitment to the safety and stability of the galaxy could serve as a powerful gesture of goodwill. Anna considered this. Finding a common ground or a common threat could indeed bridge the gap. Thomas, prepare a team. I want you to discreetly gather intelligence on any potential threats or points of leverage within the Zeltron Confederacy. Use minimal force and keep this mission confidential. The last thing we need is another public incident. As the meeting adjourned, each member of her council set to work on their respective tasks. Anna remained behind, gazing at the holographic map of the solar system that dominated one wall of the room. The little lights marking human colonies seemed more isolated now than ever, but she was determined to reconnect them to the galaxy at large. Outside the political sphere, news of the Council's decisions slowly leaked, fueling debates and discussions across Titan's public forums and media. The citizens, already uneasy about their future, were divided between supporting the isolation as a means of safeguarding human interests and pushing for more open and aggressive attempts to break the diplomatic deadlock. Governor Jiao's plan was a gamble, but it was one she believed worth taking. If successful, it could not only end their isolation, but also herald a new era of interstellar cooperation. As Titan's artificial night began to fall, the lights from the colony's habitation modules shone like stars against the cold backdrop of space, a reminder of human resilience and ingenuity. Thomas Reed adjusted the collar of his thermal jacket as he disembarked from the shuttle onto the icy surface of Ganymede. Jupiter loomed large in the sky, bands of swirling storms painting a menacing backdrop. The Zeltron outpost on this moon was a sprawling complex of domes and tunnels, primarily used as a research and communication hub within the outer solar system. Blending in was critical. Thomas had assumed the identity of a low-level maintenance engineer, a role that would grant him access to most areas of the outpost without drawing undue attention. His credentials, meticulously forged to pass Zeltron security protocols, were his golden ticket into the inner workings of the alien establishment. The Zeltron outpost was unlike any human facility. The architecture was sleek and organic, mimicking the natural formations found on Ganymede's surface. The corridors were illuminated by a soft, bioluminescent glow, and the air was filled with a symphony of alien chirps and whistles, the Zeltrons' method of casual communication. Thomas kept his head down, focusing on memorizing the layout and identifying key areas where he could gather information without being noticed. His first few days were spent installing and repairing communication arrays, a task that allowed him to plant a series of micro-surveillance devices. These devices tapped into the outpost's data streams, feeding information back to a secure server hidden within his living quarters. Night by night, Thomas pieced together the political landscape of the Zeltron Confederacy from intercepted communications. It was during one of his routine maintenance checks in a restricted communications hub that Thomas stumbled upon a conversation that chilled him to the bone. Two Zeltron officials, cloaked in the vibrant ceremonial garbs that signified their high rank, discussed a covert operation aimed at a critical human space station, the Unity Hub. The operation was not sanctioned by the Zeltron central government, but was instead the brainchild of a radical faction within their military. Thomas realized that this information was exactly what Governor Jiao needed. Not only did it provide proof of a direct threat to human colonies, but it also revealed divisions within the Zeltron political sphere that could be leveraged in negotiations. However, obtaining physical evidence of the plan was paramount. Tomas spent the following days accessing deeper layers of the outpost's secure archives, eventually capturing encrypted files detailing the operation. The risk of discovery grew with each passing moment, and it wasn't long before Tomas noticed subtle changes in the behavior of the outpost's security personnel. They were onto an intruder. It was only a matter of time before they traced the breach back to him. With the crucial data in his possession, Tomas made the difficult decision to extract earlier than planned. Evading security through maintenance tunnels and using his intimate knowledge of the outpost's schedules, he made his way back to his shuttle. As he punched in the coordinates for Titan, Tomas knew he was leaving with a target on his back, but the stakes were too high to consider personal safety. The future of human-Zeltron relations, perhaps even the stability of the entire human presence in space, depended on the intelligence he had gathered. As the shuttle broke through Ganymede's thin atmosphere, Tomas prepared for the dangerous journey back, knowing that what awaited him could very well spark a galactic crisis or prevent one. As Thomas Reed's shuttle hurtled back towards Titan, he reviewed the encrypted files he had stolen from the Zeltron outpost. The information was more damning than he had initially realized. The plan he had uncovered involved not just sabotage, but a complete technological takeover of the Unity Hub's systems, which would cripple human space operations and potentially lead to catastrophic casualties. Back on Titan, Governor Anna Jiao convened an emergency session with her top advisors in the secure war room beneath the colony's Capitol building. The room was stark, illuminated by screens displaying various data points and maps of human territories. The tension was palpable as Tomas's encrypted transmission was decrypted and displayed. The room fell silent as the details of the Zeltron plan unfolded. The radicals intended to use a sophisticated virus to seize control of Unity Hub's life support and navigation systems. It was clear that this operation was designed to be a demonstration of strength, to show other species in the galaxy the supposed dangers of engaging with humanity. General Huang was the first to break the silence. "This is an act of war," he declared flatly. "We must retaliate immediately and show them that humans will not be threatened or manipulated." Anna held up a hand, signaling for calm. "We need to think strategically. An immediate military response could escalate things very quickly. We have to consider the possibility that not all Zeltrons support this action. This could be the work of a rogue faction." Dr. Voss, her expression grave, nodded in agreement. "Governor, Tomas's report suggests there are elements within the Zeltron government who are unaware of this plan. Perhaps exposing this radical faction is our best course of action. It could help us gain allies within their political system." Anna considered this. "We need more information, and we need allies. Tomas, I want you to return to the Zeltron outpost. It's risky, but we need someone on the inside." Thomas, still aboard his shuttle, responded through the secure channel, his face grim. "I'll do it, Governor. But this time, I might need backup." Plans were quickly drawn up for Thomas to return to Ganymede with a small, covert team. They would infiltrate the outpost once more, gather more evidence, and possibly contact sympathetic Zeltrons who might be persuaded to help expose and thwart the radicals' plans. Meanwhile, Anna directed her public affairs team to start crafting a narrative for the human colonies and the galaxy at large. This narrative would not only prepare their own citizens for possible disruptions, but also lay the groundwork for absolving humanity, should details of the conspiracy leak prematurely. As the team set about their tasks, Anna stayed behind in the war room, her eyes fixed on the star map. Each point of light represented human lives, lives that now depended on the success of Tomas's mission and her ability to navigate the treacherous political waters they now found themselves in. The weight of her responsibility felt heavier than ever, but the resolve in her heart was firm. She would protect her people, and she would preserve the fragile peace they had fought so hard to achieve, even if it meant engaging in the shadowy machinations of galactic politics. Back on Titan, Governor Anna Jiao set the wheels of her comprehensive defensive plan in motion. With the threat to Unity Hub imminent and potentially devastating, every moment was critical. She had to balance the delicate task of preparing for a potential attack without tipping off the Zeltron radicals that their plan had been compromised. Inside the heavily fortified military wing of the colony's capital, General Huang coordinated with commanders from various human colonies. They discussed logistics, troop movements, and the fortification of strategic assets. Anna had decided that, while Thomas worked his way back into the Zeltron outpost on Ganymede, they would need to reinforce Unity Hub's own security protocols and prepare for a counterstrike if necessary. Enhance all firewalls, double the guard on every dock, and run drills for emergency scenarios, General Huang ordered, his voice firm and authoritative. We need to be prepared for anything. A cyber attack, a physical assault, anything. At the same time, Dr. Voss mobilized the scientific community across the human colonies. Top cybersecurity experts and software engineers were brought together to devise a countermeasure to the anticipated virus attack. Working around the clock, they developed a series of defensive software packages designed to isolate and eliminate any unauthorized intrusions into Unity Hub systems. On the civilian front, Anna took a more subtle approach. She initiated community outreach programs to bolster public morale and ensure that the populace was ready for potential disruptions. These programs were designed not only to inform, but also to unite the people under a common cause, protecting their home from unseen enemies. Meanwhile, Tomas and his team approached Ganymede with caution. Their shuttle, cloaked by the latest stealth technology, made a silent orbit insertion. Tomas knew the outpost's routines and weak points. His previous mission had given him invaluable insight, but this time the stakes were even higher. The team, dressed in maintenance uniforms, slipped into the outpost through one of the lesser-used docking bays, just as a shift change was occurring. Their mission was twofold: secure further evidence of the radical faction's plans, and sabotage their operational capabilities from within. The corridors of the outpost felt eerily familiar to Tomas, but every step he took was laden with danger. They made their way to the communications center, where they began uploading a series of data siphoning tools into the network. Back on Titan, the clock ticked down. Reports flowed in from Unity Hub. Security measures were at maximum readiness, and the defensive software was holding steady. Every ship that approached was thoroughly scanned, every communication scrutinized for hidden threats. As Tomas's team worked, they uncovered more than just the planned sabotage. They found a scheduled communication between the radical Zeltron leaders and another, unknown extraterrestrial faction. This was explosive, proof that the radicals were not just a threat to humanity, but potentially to other species, and even to their own people. With the evidence secured and their secondary objectives completed, Tomas's team made a tense, silent escape from the outpost. Their shuttle departed just as the outpost's alarms began to blare. An unrelated incident, but one that covered their exit perfectly. Upon his return to Titan, Tomas presented the new evidence to Anna and her council. The revelation of the Zeltron radicals' broader conspiracy reshaped their strategy. They now held in their hands information that could sway galactic opinion, not just protect their own station. Anna knew the next steps were crucial. They needed to reach out to the Zeltron Confederacy's central government and expose the radicals before the situation escalated into full-blown conflict. The race against time continued, but with each successful maneuver, humanity edged closer to securing a future among the stars, one marked not by isolation, but by interconnected security and mutual respect. The tension in the control room of Unity Hub was palpable, as officers and technicians monitored every signal and communication with heightened vigilance. The sprawling space station, orbiting Earth, served as a crucial nexus for human space travel and commerce, and now it was the potential target of a Zeltron radical faction's sabotage plan. Governor Anna Jiao, who had arrived to oversee the operation personally, stood firm, her gaze locked on the large digital screens displaying the station's security feeds. Outside, the vastness of space was punctuated by the occasional glint of metal as patrol ships cruised by, their presence a reassurance to the crew and a warning to any who might harbor hostile intentions. The defensive measures implemented by General Huang and Dr. Voss's teams were at full capacity, the station systems running checks and rechecks to fend off any cyber intrusions. Suddenly, an alert flashed across the monitors. An unidentified shuttle was approaching, not responding to hails. It was a scenario they had drilled for but hoped to avoid. Within seconds, the station's defensive protocols kicked in. Fighter crafts were dispatched, forming a defensive perimeter around Unity Hub. "Visual confirmation pending," announced the communications officer, his voice steady despite the rising tension. "Shuttle is holding position just outside our defense zone." Anna leaned forward, watching as the image of the shuttle came into focus on the screen. It was a standard model, used commonly throughout the galaxy, which made it difficult to identify the occupants or their intent conclusively. "We can't take chances," Anna declared. "Prepare to disable." Before the order could be executed, a transmission crackled through the speakers. "This is Commander Lyra Keene of the Zeltron Peace Brigade," a voice announced, its tone calm yet assertive. "We come under a banner of truce and need to speak with your leaders immediately." The room hesitated, the unexpected declaration from a Zeltron source causing a brief but intense debate among the hub's senior staff. Anna made a quick decision. "Let them approach, but keep weapons locked. We'll meet in the docking bay under full security." Commander Keene and her delegation were escorted under heavy guard to the main conference room where Anna and her advisors waited. Lyra, a tall figure with the distinctive smooth features and piercing eyes of her species, wasted no time. "Governor Jiao, we are aware of the radical faction's intentions against Unity Hub. We do not support their actions and seek to assist you in preventing any harm to your station." Anna assessed her counterpart with a critical eye. "Why should we trust you, Commander, especially given the circumstances?" Lyra nodded, understanding the skepticism. "Because those radicals threaten the peace and stability of not only your species but all members of the Zeltron Confederacy. We have brought proof of their plans, as well as the locations of their supply caches and communication networks. We propose a joint operation to dismantle their capabilities." Realizing the potential to not only avert the crisis but also strike a significant blow against the radicals, Anna agreed to the alliance. The following hours were a flurry of activity, with human and Zeltron teams coordinating closely. Details of the radicals' network were laid out, plans formulated, and contingents prepared for synchronized strikes across various locations in the solar system. The siege that was meant to cripple Unity Hub turned into a united front that showcased the potential for cooperation between humans and Zeltrons against a common enemy. As the combined forces took action, the radical faction's operations were systematically dismantled, their plans foiled, and their resources seized. In the aftermath, as peace settled over Unity Hub once more, the bonds formed during the crisis between the humans and the Zeltron Peace Brigade laid the groundwork for a new chapter in interstellar relations. Anna and Lyra stood together in the control room, watching as reports of successful missions flowed in. "We may have started this day under siege," Anna said, turning to Lyra with a respectful nod. "But we end it with a new alliance, one forged in the face of adversity." Lyra returned the nod, her expression one of solemn agreement. "Let this be a lesson to all," she replied, "that unity and cooperation are the strongest weapons against discord and war." Following the thwarted attack on Unity Hub and the successful joint operations against the radical Zeltron faction, a newfound sense of camaraderie and mutual respect began to flourish between the humans and the Zeltron Peace Brigade. With the immediate crisis averted, attention turned to leveraging this unexpected alliance into a lasting peace. In the conference room aboard Unity Hub, Governor Anna Jiao and Commander Lyra Keene convened a series of meetings with both human and Zeltron diplomats, military leaders, and intelligence officers. The atmosphere was cautiously optimistic as both sides discussed the details of a formal peace treaty and plans for a collaborative future. "The actions of a few should not dictate the relationship between our peoples," Anna stated in one of the sessions, her voice echoing in the room lined with both human and Zeltron flags. "What we've achieved here, working together against a common foe, could be the cornerstone of a new galactic era." Commander Lyra nodded in agreement, her face illuminated by the soft light of the display screens showing a live feed of Earth and Jupiter in peaceful coexistence. "Our proposal includes not only joint security measures, but also cultural exchanges and economic partnerships. We must build on this foundation with transparency and goodwill." As part of the treaty, it was agreed that a Zeltron human cultural exchange program would be established, featuring educational initiatives, art exhibits, and technology symposiums. The goal was to foster understanding and appreciation of each species' heritage and achievements, thus dispelling myths and biases that had fueled previous tensions. Economically, both parties recognized the benefit of reopening trade routes that had been closed following the Zeltron advisory against human colonies. Special economic zones were designated where both human and Zeltron businesses could operate, facilitating a flow of goods, technologies, and ideas that had been staunchly interrupted. Another critical aspect of the discussions was the establishment of a joint task force aimed at monitoring and neutralizing any future threats from extremist factions within either community. This task force would operate transparently and report regularly to a council made up of representatives from both the Zeltron Confederacy and the human colonies. News of these developments was broadcast across human and Zeltron territories, meeting mixed reactions. While many celebrated the prospect of peace and prosperity, others remained skeptical, their mistrust rooted in old prejudices and fears. However, the general sentiment was hopeful, and public opinion gradually began to shift as the benefits of the alliance became apparent. Meanwhile, on Earth and other human colonies, preparations were underway to host the first delegation of Zeltron scholars, artists, and business leaders. Exhibitions showcasing Zeltron technology alongside human innovations were organized, and forums for open dialogue were scheduled. The apex of these efforts was a grand conference held on Unity Hub, where leaders from various human and Zeltron sectors gathered to sign the official treaty. The event was broadcast live across the galaxy, symbolizing a public commitment to a united future. Jiao and Lyra Keen, who had become the public faces of this new alliance, addressed the galaxy together. "Today we stand not as separate races but as partners," Anna declared, her voice steady and strong. "We choose to face the future not as adversaries, but as architects of a shared destiny." As the conference concluded, the applause that filled the room echoed through the corridors of Unity Hub and across space, reaching distant worlds. It was a sound that marked not just the end of conflict but the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history, one defined by cooperation and mutual respect. Following the signing of the treaty and the initial success of joint initiatives, the newly formed alliance between humanity and the Zeltron Confederacy planned a galactic summit to solidify their growing partnership. The event was to be held on Earth, symbolizing humanity's central role in the new galactic order and its emergence as a diplomatic and cultural powerhouse. Preparations for the summit were extensive, involving not just logistical arrangements to accommodate various alien species, but also extensive security protocols to ensure the safety of all delegates. The summit was to be hosted in Geneva, a city with a long history of international diplomacy. The choice was deliberate, meant to echo the spirit of cooperation and peace that the summit aimed to achieve. Governor Jiao, now recognized as a key figure in interstellar diplomacy, worked closely with her team and Zeltron counterparts to set the agenda. The summit would address major topics such as trade regulations, security cooperation, environmental stewardship across planets, and the ethical implications of interstellar technology and exploration. As the summit day approached, delegates from numerous star systems arrived, each bringing their own perspectives and expectations. The diversity of the assembly was a testament to the wide-reaching influence of the new Human-Zeltron alliance. Representatives from systems that had once observed humanity with suspicion now came forward to seek dialogue and partnership. The opening ceremony was a grand affair, broadcast across countless worlds. Jiao took the stage, her presence commanding and poised. "Today we come together not just to talk, but to listen, to share not only our aspirations but also our fears, and to confront not only our differences but our shared challenges," she announced. Her words met with a murmur of approval from the assembled delegates. The sessions that followed tackled complex issues. In the Trade and Economy Committee, human and alien economists debated policies that could benefit multiple species without disadvantaging others. Security sessions addressed the delicate balance of maintaining peace through strength without escalating arms races. Meanwhile, scientific symposiums buzzed with discussions on cooperative research ventures,
including joint missions to unexplored sectors of the galaxy and shared space stations dedicated to research.
One of the most significant outcomes of the summit was the formation of the Interstellar Environmental Coalition, tasked with protecting the ecological health of planets and moons across the galaxy. This initiative was especially praised, as it demonstrated a commitment to preserving the natural beauty and diversity of the cosmos, beyond mere economic or strategic considerations. The summit also featured cultural exchanges that had artists, musicians, and storytellers from different worlds sharing their heritage and traditions. These events were not just entertaining but deeply symbolic, weaving a tapestry of cultural understanding that enriched all who participated. As the summit drew to a close, a declaration was signed by all parties, affirming their commitment to a shared future. The declaration was not merely a document, but a promise to strive for a universe where cooperation prevailed over conflict, and diversity was seen as a strength rather than a threat. Anna and Lyra stood side by side as the summit concluded, their joint closing remarks a powerful reminder of how far their peoples had come. "This summit is not the end of our journey but a bright beginning," Anna declared. "Together we have laid the groundwork for a legacy that will outlast us all." As delegates departed, the promise of the summit lingered in the air, a beacon of hope for a united galactic community. The Alliance had not only averted a crisis, but had sparked a movement towards a more integrated and harmonious universe. In the years following the Galactic Summit, the alliance between humanity and the Zeltron Confederacy blossomed into an era of unprecedented interstellar cooperation. This period, often referred to as the New Frontier, was characterized by a surge in shared technological advancements, cultural exchanges, and expansive exploration missions that ventured deeper into unknown regions of the galaxy. Governor Anna Jiao, having transitioned to a more prominent role in the interstellar community, now served as the human ambassador to the Galactic Council, a newly established body designed to foster dialogue and resolve disputes among the myriad civilizations in the galaxy. Her office on the Unity Hub was a nexus of diplomatic activity, where strategies were devised and policies were shaped that would influence the future of interstellar relations. Technological collaboration was at the forefront of the New Frontier. Joint research facilities, staffed by both human and Zeltron scientists along with other alien experts, developed technologies that had once seemed beyond reach. One of the most notable achievements was the quantum flux drive, a propulsion system that significantly reduced travel time between star systems, making the galaxy feel smaller and more connected. Cultural integration also took a significant leap forward. The Human Zeltron Cultural Exchange Program had grown to include other species, resulting in a vibrant intercultural dialogue that enriched societies across the galaxy. Festivals, art galleries, and educational institutions on Earth, Zeltron, and other worlds showcased the diversity and creativity of the galaxy's inhabitants. These initiatives helped break down long-standing prejudices and build a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. The spirit of exploration also reignited with vigor. The Galactic Voyager Initiative, a multi-species effort funded by members of the Galactic Council, launched several expeditions to chart unexplored territories. These missions, crewed by representatives from various civilizations, symbolized the cooperative spirit of the New Frontier. They encountered new life forms, discovered habitable planets, and even brokered peaceful first contacts with previously unknown sentient species. As the New Frontier era progressed, humanity found itself playing a crucial role not just in politics and economy, but also as a mediator in conflicts. The Galactic Council often turned to Ambassador Jiao to leverage her experience and the goodwill she had earned to diffuse tensions that arose. Her ability to navigate complex diplomatic waters with empathy and resolve became a hallmark of her tenure. On a personal note, Anna kept a holographic diary, a collection of her thoughts, experiences, and hopes for the future. This diary, meant to be a personal record, ended up being shared in educational curriculums throughout human territories as a testament to the potential of diplomacy and cooperation. In one of her entries, she reflected on the journey. Looking back at the first tumultuous meetings with the Zeltron Confederacy, I could never have imagined that those tense moments would lead us here. We've not only averted a crisis, but have built a tapestry of interdependence that spans the galaxy. This isn't just about survival. It's about flourishing together in a universe that is far richer and more complex than we ever knew. The new frontier was more than a period of peace. It was a testament to the potential of disparate beings to not only coexist, but thrive together. As this era unfolded, the universe looked on in wonder at what this alliance would achieve next, proving that the most enduring legacy is built not on conquest but on cooperation. Years later, Unity Hub had transformed from a symbol of human resistance into a bustling interstellar cultural and trade center. Its corridors and open spaces, once filled with the tension of impending conflict, now thrummed with the vibrant energy of commerce, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. The station had expanded, with new modules and docks accommodating a myriad of alien spacecraft and businesses from across the galaxy. It stood as a physical manifestation of the enduring peace forged from the brink of war. As the anniversary of the thwarted attack approached, a grand celebration was planned on Unity Hub. Delegates, dignitaries, and citizens from countless planetary systems gathered to commemorate the event, not just to reflect on the past, but to celebrate the achievements of the present and the promise of the future. Ambassador Jiao, now an elder stateswoman revered across star systems, was the guest of honor. The main concourse of Unity Hub, adorned with banners and flags representing the galaxy's myriad cultures, was packed with attendees eager to hear her speak. Years ago, this station was almost torn apart by fear and suspicion. Anna began, her voice resonant and clear, carrying through the crowd. But instead of allowing our fears to define us, we chose a different path. A path of understanding, cooperation, and peace. Today, Unity Hub is not just a meeting place for commerce and diplomacy, but a living symbol of what we can achieve when we work together. The crowd erupted in applause, a sound that echoed through the halls and chambers of the station. Anna smiled, her eyes twinkling with the reflection of the colorful lights that danced across the ceiling. As part of the celebration, a series of exhibitions showcased technological innovations and cultural artifacts from various civilizations, demonstrating the tangible benefits of the interstellar alliance. Interactive holographic displays allowed visitors to experience the climates and landscapes of distant worlds, while workshops and lectures by leading experts discussed everything from advanced astroengineering to the philosophies of newly contacted alien cultures. One of the highlights was the unveiling of the Peace Monument, a towering sculpture situated at the heart of Unity Hub, created by a renowned artist collective composed of individuals from different species. Its design cleverly intertwined elements from various cultures, symbolizing the interconnectivity of all life forms in the galaxy. Later in the evening, a concert featuring musicians from multiple star systems filled the station with melodies and rhythms that transcended language and species. The music, a blend of traditional and contemporary styles from across the galaxy, served as a universal language that brought smiles and tears to the diverse audience. Anna, watching from her place of honor, felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The unity and joy of the celebration were a far cry from the uncertainty and fear of her early days in office. She reflected on her journey, from a governor of a remote human colony to a pivotal leader in galactic diplomacy. Her legacy, she hoped, would not just be the peace they currently enjoyed, but the continued commitment to unity and exploration. As the celebration drew to a close, fireworks lit up the space outside Unity Hub, a dazzling display visible against the backdrop of the vast, starry expanse. Each burst of color was a testament to the lives saved, the friendships formed, and the barriers broken during the era of the new frontier. Anna's thoughts turned to the future, hopeful and bright, as she considered the endless possibilities ahead. The universe, once a vast frontier of unknown dangers, was now a shared space of infinite potential, all because humanity had dared to reach out in peace rather than react in fear. As she retired for the night, Anna felt a serene confidence in the continuing peace and prosperity of the galaxy, a peace she had helped to forge and which she believed would endure for generations to come.